Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Greg Ulmer with Key Performance Ideas, and I would like to welcome you to our demonstration of Oracle Analytics Cloud Service. Today's webinar will be presented by David Decker and Shane Schmidt. David Decker is our business intelligence consulting lead and has more than 20 years of information management experience with expertise specifically in Oracle Business Intelligence applications. Shane is the Director of Consulting Services and Delivery and has been successfully implementing Hyperion solutions for domestic and international organizations since 1990. David and Shane, welcome and thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you, Greg. Today we're going to talk about Oracle Analytics Cloud Service. Our intention is to take a look at several of the OAC components, including Essbase, the mobile offering, data visualization, BI dashboards, and BI Publisher. We also want to review a little bit of the OAC architecture and how it may be implemented, and demonstrate the basic functionality of BI data visualization and the SmartView application over Essbase. Our objective today is to expose our customers to the enterprise reporting solution that can combine multiple disparate data sources into one unified picture to suit all of your business needs, whether it come from a single finance department all the way through enterprise level reporting. And we want to discuss and demonstrate the functionality of these individual tools that make up the total offering of the Oracle Analytics Cloud. So let's get right into it. The Oracle Analytics Cloud focuses entirely around the data that runs your business. So we do that through utilization of data flows, which can allow us to mash data together and create filtering and cleansing of data to make more powerful use cases for the data that you contain in your business. It allows us to have data discovery through all of the different tools, whether it be pixel perfect reporting, BI dashboards, exploring through Essbase and what if cubes. We have a very large offering of data visualization, specifically in SmartView and BI dashboarding, as well as the data visualization cloud, which is purpose-built for that kind of graphical interface that we can create. It also allows for data collaboration where we can have end users create reporting and publish it to other people in their company. Once they've found good solutions to problems, they can move that out to the rest of the enterprise. OAC in general is a 100% data-driven solution. The more data you can pass into it, the more powerful this application suite will be. The first part of OAC we want to talk about is Essbase. Essbase is the multi-dimensional database that provides speed of thought analytics. It allows you to slice and dice your data in any way imaginable from any point of view imaginable based on the dimensions that you define. It's very quick and easy to develop and manage those analytic applications. It has an intuitive Microsoft Office interface through a plugin called SmartView, so your finance departments and your Excel power users can very easily interface with that data. And your cubes also directly integrate to the BI dashboards and data visualization. And it has a new function that has been released called the creation of what if cubes, where you can create a data set in data visualization and actually have that data set be spun up into a Essbase cube on the fly. Oracle Day by Day is Oracle's mobile offering. It's a mobile solution that creates a personalized experience for the user. It allows a user to set notifications and alerts based on the data that they're consuming. It's a very simple setup that you can download from the App Store and is Apple and Android capable. It has a unique geo-fencing capability where you can, if you're using this tool in your cell phone to, say, visit a customer site, it can deliver you analytics about that specific location that you're standing on. It's also voice search capable and can actually generate reporting capabilities right out of you speaking to it. Very similar to a Alexis or Siri type of interaction. BI Publisher is newly released in the cloud. It is the pixel perfect reporting solution that Oracle offers to create more of that Microsoft Office suite or PDF style, what I consider paper type reporting. One of the great powers in BI Publisher is that it has the ability to be interactive reports with interactive filters when you're online, but then you can pass those filters through bursting that will allow you to send these same reports as static documents out to users across the company that never have to interact with the application, but you can filter that same data down to just their point of view. This allows a power user to look at maybe company-wide information or a very large swath of information, and yet that same report doesn't need to be developed again to feed to your user. It can, through bursting and filtering, deliver a slice of that data to the audience that you intend. Data visualization has drag and drop charts and graphs. It's got direct data access through native connectors as well as your basic ODBC connection. It can leverage the OBIEE repository that we will get into a little bit later. It also has the ability to mash up and combine data from multiple data sources to create new intuitive data sets that will allow you to explore things in different ways. And it's very user-friendly for data exploration. Again, it's drag and drop, and you don't have to be a total techie in order to get the ability to use it. And we'll have a look at how that works. Oracle Business Intelligence allows us to leverage on-premise and cloud data sources. It can combine disparate data to form an overall picture. So if you could create Essbase cubes and combine them with data that sits in a very granular level in your relational database and data warehouse, and combine that data so you can drill through that cube all the way down to a transactional level detail in your relational data. It has the ability to simplify that data for an optimized end user experience through the presentation layer, which will allow us to create names for these different columns and tables in common business language that users can understand, so they don't have to learn how the database is architected. We can create that data structures visually for the user to look at and understand in a language that they deal with in the office every day. You can store complex calculations and business rules in the business layer of this, where no longer will you have people showing up with separate spreadsheets with different answers. We store those calculations so they don't have to do that work, and then we just deliver the answer to them so everybody sees the same numbers. It will definitely enable your super user or power user to create reports in the Answers tool, and has a massive drill down capability. Again, as we're saying, you could come from Essbase to relational data to spreadsheet data and combine that into one overall business view. The metadata repository that makes up OBIEE, which we were mentioning earlier, contains 3 different levels. If you look at the physical side, on the right-hand side of the screen, you see that this is where we are mapping directly to a data source and pulling the metadata from those tables in. So this would directly reflect the structure of your database. For instance, you can see SAMP Offices D is a table name, SAMP Products D is a table name. We can then take that information, move it into that middle section, and create a business model where at the top we're designing hierarchies and creating the measures that will be calculated upon in our analytics. Now, if you look at the left-hand side, you can see now Sample Offices D has simply become offices, and Revenue F has become some different facts. And what this allows us to do, as I was saying, is create intuitive naming conventions that power users can identify. They don't have to understand that SAMP Offices D is the name of the table. They just know I need to look at offices. That Doing that work in that repository can be leveraged by all of the tools in the Analytics Cloud suite, whether it be day by day, BI Publisher, data visualization, or OBI. This allows your work to be utilized across all platforms. So there's always a little bit of confusion about the OAC architecture, so I thought we would just revisit this before we move on. Oracle Day by Day is definitely the mobile offering and can be used by every consumer. Data Visualization Cloud Service is ad hoc and mashup. BI Publisher, pixel perfect reporting and bursting. OBI is our executive dashboarding and enterprise level reporting. And Essbase and SmartView is our speed of thought analytics and Excel spreadsheet interface reporting. When we look at that a different way, you can see that Day by Day is more of a data consumer type product. Data Visualization Cloud Service, definitely intended quite a bit for our power users and can be utilized by less technical people. BI Publisher, because of the nature of BI Publisher and the way that it can access data right with direct access to the database, we recommend that as a developer product and not an end user product. OBI, depending on the information that you're using, can be used by developers or our power users to create reports and answers. And then, of course, Essbase and SmartView, always very popular with our finance group. So let's take a quick look at how one type of architecture could work for the Analytics Cloud. You can see here, this is a pretty typical Oracle stack where we're designing a data warehouse. And as you move around the circle of the Oracle Data Integrator, we're accessing SQL Server, Ultimate Data, ADP, flat files, and Excel spreadsheets. Then using Oracle Data Integrator to pull that data into a data warehouse, and then moving from that data warehouse, consuming that data through all of the different views that we have, and data visualization, BI Publisher, OBI, etc. That is one way to do this when we want to consolidate data or already have a data warehouse to be leveraged. However, with OAC, there's another way to do it. We can consume every one of those things directly if that's the way we want to do it. You have to create your own data connections, create your own joins, etc. But you can just attack every piece of every one of these softwares directly. Every one of these databases or data sources directly. So let's take a look at a little bit of a demonstration of some of these products. I'm going to go ahead and jump into Oracle Analytics Cloud. When we look at Oracle Analytics Cloud, when you enter the front page, this is what you see. Basically, you will see a dashboard of all of your recently used items, whether it be projects, data sets. It gives you some options to download samples, explore your initial data, connect to data. And it can also allow you to create new connections. As you can see, data visualization has the ability to create connections to multiple different types of data sources, whether it be Essbase, Oracle applications, Oracle Data Warehouse, Dropbox, MySQL, SQL Server, etc., etc. It can consume any one of these pieces of data, and all of these are built in. The other thing we can do is drag right onto this surface. We can drag any Excel spreadsheet that we want and consume that data directly. So I can pull in this sales spreadsheet and customer spreadsheet, which I have done before this demonstration, so we can have a look at what we would do if we simply pulled up a dump of spreadsheet data that we found either on the web or we've pulled from our on-premise sources. I can choose to come up to create a new project, and it's going to load up my project builder. First thing it's going to say is what type of data do I want. You can see we also have an Essbase cube here we can consume. I'm going to come down here and say I just want to look at my sales data. Now when I look at my sales data, in the spreadsheet there's only an order date and a ship date. However, it intuitively knows that this is a date field and goes ahead and breaks that down into some more options that I can consume, whether it be day of month, week of year, etc., etc. Now, if I look in here, I only have customer ID. Perhaps I want to take a look at my customer spreadsheet and add that data in here. So I choose Add Dataset, choose my customer spreadsheet, say add that to the project. It's going to just pull that in. We can now see I have a new customers table. And if I want to see how it has joined them together, I can view my data diagram. It says I have one join. It has intuitively said these are matching fields. I'm going to join by customer ID. I can also choose to change that to a different join if I find that that join has not been correct, or I can choose to even add a second one if maybe I have a more complex join, need to join postal code or something else. But for now, we're going to cancel because we think that's fine. One of the intuitive things that goes on with the data visualization tool is it will interpret what you're trying to accomplish and try and come up with a simple visualization for you. So for instance, if I choose profit and then I choose category and let's say month, I hold control down, I select all three of them, I pull them over to my visualization, and it's going to come up with a visualization that it thinks might fit that. So you see it says I'm giving you a line graph that will give me some information about my individual months and how my different categories are performing. This is technology, this is office supplies, and the sad one is furniture. So it's got some mouse over capability and quickly changes those around. One of the nice things is if I'm unhappy with that, I can simply click over there and choose any one of these different types of visualizations that I want. Maybe I want a tree map, and it will just come up with a tree map on that. Then if I want to say limit this by year because I'm not liking how much data I have in there, I can choose to pull that up there, create a filter, choose 2015, and it's going to adjust my data immediately. So that's a simple way that we can start exploring data. Now what I thought we would do is maybe take a look at some already pre-built data visualizations that it comes with in the samples, so we can see some of the more advanced visualizations that you can create. For instance, this is a performance view for the company that we were just looking at, and you can see this is my sales trend while I have my scatter graph indicating my profit and number of customers. I have some sales by region over here, all combined into one visualization. I have a product overview where I can see my product sales, profit ratio, all created right here in visualization. And again, any of these can immediately be changed just by clicking that one little button and choosing a different visualization. So we can play around very quickly with what we like the looks of. And obviously here is another one where we are looking at a customer facing view and have some line bar graphs and some other nice visualizations that help us there. And we can move around, add or adjust our filters. Right here you can see we have product category, customer segment, etc. Another thing that Oracle has really built into the Analytics Cloud now is the ability to do advanced analytics through R scripting. So now you can do things like polynomial regression, exponential regression, all types of advanced scripting through the R programming language. There's ability to do cluster analysis. As we'll see, this is a cluster of cities by profit ratio. Or we can move into forecasting, and there are built-in examples of this to help you get started so you can get a feeling for how to explore your data, where you can see here that we've forecast the coming 11 months based on the previous 24 months. Now that we've had a look at data visualization, why don't we go ahead and hop over to the BI dashboarding portion of the Analytics Cloud. So this is a simple dashboard that gives you an overall view of a business. This is what we would consider more of an executive dashboard. You can say very popular things with executives. We have revenue, which has current period versus year ago revenue, revenue versus prior period, percentage of target by organization, and then even a slider here so we can look at all of the months over the year so we can get a sort of a visualization of how things are moving, whether they're moving up or down across the same graph. Same thing for these speedometers, so they can tell us if things are getting better or getting worse, which it looks like they're ticking up slowly. And operational efficiency in a scatter graph. So this is another one where we have a nice slider. The other thing that's nice in this type of dashboard is that we can create many filters that will help us change our point of view on the dashboard. Maybe I'm in the region of the Americas right now, but I want to look at Asia Pacific. I can simply apply that filter, and all of my data adjusts to the filter that I've applied. The interactive dashboards also have drill down capability. So you can see here when I click on BizTech, it's going to jump down to communications and electronics, two different divisions in BizTech. I can then quickly pivot down to accessories and audio. Maybe I want to chase down a problem I'm having in audio because revenue looks low, and I can look at my two main audio offerings and see where my problem may be. So this allows us to very quickly move through, say, total products down to a single product as we're moving through that hierarchy that we were talking about defining in the repository. Lastly, just wanted to take a quick peek. So when you see that we are talking about pixel perfect reporting, here is a BI Publisher report where we can see this is sort of your standard PDF report. This may be something that we would burst out to a business group or to a bunch of users that aren't necessarily interacting with the cloud services, and can also be, say, sent out to customers. So you can give them a report, give them a list of products they've consumed, or create some mass marketing type of documents where we can do mashup of the data with their email addresses to show them what their trending sales are over the past year, some things like that. This can be created very easily in PDF. You can pivot that over to HTML, Excel, PowerPoint. It'll export very quickly to any of those. And last but not least, because I missed it, let me just jump back here and show you the answers portion of the report writing tool. This is if we wanted to create a new analysis. We have multiple subject areas here. I'm just going to choose the cost subject area. And the answers tool is, again, just a drag and drop tool to help us define BI dashboards. And you can see here it's very just mouse clicking, drag and drop type interface. This is a hierarchy, so if I want to see a whole hierarchy in my analysis, I can choose that hierarchy, or I can choose to go down and just pull any piece of that hierarchy out. Choose a product, and then pick a measure that we're looking at. Let's say variable costs, and that will allow me to very quickly view the results of what I'm working on. I can also add in multiple filters based on those, and I can modify any of those in any way I see fit. Maybe I want to just pull a portion of that name out, or I want to create a variable cost divided by a number. I can add that in very quickly. So that is the Oracle Analytics Cloud. I am now going to bring this back up and turn this over to Shane so he can tell us about Essbase and SmartView. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you going through the OAC presentation. That's really good stuff. What I'm here to talk about today is SmartView and give you a little bit of a demo on SmartView. So I'll start moving forward with that discussion. For those of you who don't know what SmartView is, I want to give you just a quick level set here, and some of you may already know this. But SmartView is an add-in for the Microsoft Office suite. It allows users to access real-time data from Oracle's on-premise and cloud applications. It also allows users to analyze data, modify or adjust data, and submit those changes to a database. SmartView gives you ad hoc analysis capabilities as well. It allows you to connect to Essbase to create free-form templates for analyzing your data. Ad hoc analysis is what allows users to perform speed-of-thought analytics. It supports easy drag-and-drop layout, and users can save the analysis and share it with others. In order to go through the demonstration today, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what application we're going to be looking at through the demonstration. So the application is an Essbase application, and it's the sample application that comes with Essbase. This application contains 5 dimensions. And one of the dimensions is the scenario dimension, which contains actual and budget data. The year dimension contains months, which roll into quarters. The measures dimension contains a rather simple P&L hierarchy. The products dimension contains our beverage product offering, consisting of colas, root beer, cream soda, and fruit soda. And then lastly, the market dimension captures where we sell our products by state into one of the 4 regions in the U.S., those being East, West, Central, and South. The application also contains attribute dimensions associated with the product dimension. For example, products are defined as caffeinated or non-caffeinated. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take us into Essbase Excel and then walk us through a demonstration of SmartView. So as I'm accessing my database, I want to go to my SmartView panel, go to Shared Connections. It's going to then ask me to log into the system. I'm going to go and I'm going to navigate to my Essbase application. So it's Sample Basic. I'm going to connect, and then I'm going to select an ad hoc analysis. What I want to quickly walk through here is on the spreadsheet is the layout. The layout that you see is the layout you're going to see every time that you open up an ad hoc analysis, and that's determined based on the outline of the application. As you can see, I talked about 5 dimensions earlier. Here's our year dimension, our measures dimension, product, market, and scenario dimensions. So to me, there's 4 main areas to a spreadsheet. The first area is the point of view, which references everything on the sheet. So in this case, the point of view consists of product, market, and scenario. Then there's members that make up the rows. In this case, that's the year dimension, and then members that make up the columns, which is the measure dimension. So that's 3 of the 4. The last area of the spreadsheet, what I call is the data. So if you notice, there's no formulas. This is data that's sitting in the database, and this is what makes it easy for you to save the file and pass it off to someone else for analysis. So now let's start performing some speed of thought analytics. Let's just say I want to understand how caffeinated beverages are doing in the East for Q1 actual versus the Q1 budget. So there's many different ways to move the members around a spreadsheet, and this isn't necessarily meant to be a training webinar, but it's just to kind of give you an idea of how to do things. So right now I want measures to make up my rows, and I want my months to make up my columns. So I can take measures and I can copy those over to my rows, and then I can just simply type in year here. That's another way. I will refresh my spreadsheet to make sure it's still intact, and we can see it is. The columns got automatically adjusted and sized. And then for market, for example, I mentioned I want to talk about East, so I can change the market to East simply by just typing East here. Let's refresh this. you'll notice the data has changed. I do want to move my scenario into my columns. So let me insert a couple of rows here. Again, this is like Excel, and that's why let me say it differently. This is Excel, and people love using Excel. That's why Oracle has worked so hard in developing SmartView. So I'm just simply gonna, you can see I'm just retyping and I'm refreshing and along the way, and we're getting the results that we want to see so far. I also want to change my scenario. I mentioned I want to do actual versus budget. So let's do this. Let's type in actual here. I can simply type in year here again, in budget over here. I'm just starting my framework for my analysis of actual versus budget. Now you can see I have some actual numbers here and I have some budget numbers here. Okay. So instead of year, we want quarter one. So another way of getting that is we can say zoom in to the next level. And now you see we have quarter one through quarter four and year for actuals, and then the budget we have the same. But as I mentioned earlier, I just want to focus on quarter one. So I'm going to do keep only on quarter one. But I do know this. I do want to see the months. So let's zoom in another level and say next level. Now I can see the months that make up my quarter is for both actual and budget. Okay. Again, I did mention that I wanted to do analysis on caffeinated beverages, and as you notice, the attribute dimensions, they're not displayed on your ad hoc analysis. In order to get them to display, we just come up here and we say insert attributes, and I mentioned they're on the product dimension. So there's 5 of them here. I'm only concerned about caffeinated for now, so I'm going to unselect the others, and I'm going to say OK. And as you'll see here, caffeinated now displays on the spreadsheet. And just refresh the spreadsheet. So given that I want to display my P&L by caffeinated products and non-caffeinated products, I need to pivot the attributes to the rows. So I can simply just say pivot. Now it's in my rows, right? So for display purposes, I'm going to insert a column between actual and budget just to make it a little more visual friendly, if you will. So I can, again, this is Excel, come over here and say insert. Now, let's see here. I want to zoom in. Let's zoom in on the measures. We can do to the next level because I know I only want the P&L and I don't want to capture the other information in my analysis of inventory profit ratios. So I zoomed in, I got profit. Let's do a keep only on profit. And then I can zoom in and say all levels for profit. And now you can see I have my P&L. And right now I have it aggregated at the caffeinated level. So what I want to do now is I want to zoom in on the next level of caffeinated products. So as you can see here, I have a P&L for the products that are caffeinated. Then I have the P&L for the products that are not caffeinated. And then again, down below here, as you can see, I have the products in aggregate. Okay. But let's just say, I really wanted to see it sliced a little bit differently. So let's just do keep only on caffeinated. And let's keep only on profit again. And then I want to show it the P&L line item by each of the, whether it's caffeinated or not caffeinated. So I'm simply going to cut my profit column or dimension, if you will, however you want to look at it. And then I'm going to insert it to the left of caffeinated. I'll refresh the spreadsheet just to make sure everything's still intact. Then I'm going to do a zoom in on caffeinated to get to the different levels again. And the same thing with profit. That's going to get me to all levels again. Oh, excuse me. Let me do that again. I hit next level, not all levels, so I'll keep only on profit again. Again, that's actually, you learn by watching someone do something that's not correct that you wanted. So this is a good one. So next level and all level. There's many different ways you can go about zooming in on metadata. So all levels. And now you can see it here. For sales, I have it broken down by caffeinated or not caffeinated and the total. One thing that's nice too that I want to point out is, when you're doing an analysis on actual versus budget, you kind of want to see the variance. Well, what's nice about this application is they built a member in there such that you don't have to worry about adding those members into the spreadsheet. So I know what it is, so I'll type it in here. It's variance, and then let me copy my months from January through quarter one. Bring those over here. Same thing. I'm going to copy my variance. Again, very user-friendly. I know it. If let's for example say I didn't know or remember the member name for variance, or if it was VAR or variance, I could just go to my member selection, and I could look at the drop the menu here, and I can notice variances there. So that's another way I could have retrieved that member. So now if I hit refresh again, you'll notice that the variances are now populated. Okay, so that's one really short, quick, and easy way to navigate through an analysis. What I want to also highlight is, let's just say for products, right? I want to see. I mentioned before that I wanted this to be on the caffeinated beverages, but let's say I want to kind of see what kind of products here. Is it the colas or anything, or the root beers? I could select only the colas family if I wanted to. I could remove product, and I could select these, bring them to the right. And what the power of the point of view, which is really nice, is that when you're in here, so I'll refresh. Now this is representative of just cola, right? And then if I, colas, if I don't want cola, I could go to Diet Cola, for example, and see that a child, refresh. So that's a beautiful thing about the point of view, the way to just, if you're in a meeting, quickly navigate to what product you're looking for. I could also do the same thing with the East. I could change it to show for the East. I could show it for the Central of the U.S., any of the states that make up the East, for example. I could do that too. And that's a beautiful thing for SmartView and doing the analysis, especially when you're in a group in front of people. So that's really what I want to show you for a quick analysis in SmartView, how easy it is to get to a P&L for actual versus budget for the quarter one, and certainly that's just one variation. There's many different variations that we can go through. So that concludes my demo on the SmartView. And then what I wanted to do is just kind of conclude here, kind of the call to action. So, for OAC and getting started, what we want to do here is we really want to start small and then deliver fast, such that we build some high impact and high value. That's what we first want to get. Ultimately, that's going to help us create a big win and then develop a roadmap. If we're doing that, we're going to get our customers are going to be excited. We're going to get their support. Then they're going to want us to do more and more with the tool. The tool can really do an awful lot, and hopefully we've displayed some of that value today. If you have any questions, please let us know. That's what we're here for. We're happy to get with you and answer questions, and then maybe determine what the next steps might ultimately be.
Thank you, David and Shane, and thank you all for joining us today for our demonstration of Oracle Analytics Cloud Service. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. David's, Shane's, and my contact information are displayed on your screen. Thank you again, and have a great day.